you know, not like ridiculously over the top. I don't know, right?
It was the most
I
surreal.
see. I think it hit like Kaepernick or something. Like no.
I mean, it was a surreal conversation because he's ex-military,
Mhm.
and not to alienate any of my military brothers, but people with certain careers typically have certain views of the world. His comes from a very pragmatic law, law and order kind of world where he's like, well, they didn't do anything wrong. They just overturned an opinion and now giving it back to the states. Now the states could do the right thing and create the law. And I'm like, the problem with that is like, okay, so let's imagine this topic wasn't abortion. Imagine it was souls. Everyone has the right to choose whether they want, you know, ladies can have a soul or not, or let's say whatever, right? And these states that are, once you overturn it, there's certain states that will easily start saying, well, we don't think that women have souls, so we're going to start taking the souls and giving it to the devils because they're women, right?
Mhm.
That's essentially what they're doing. But in his mind, he's like, well, the right thing to do is put the law back in the state's hands. You know what that sounds like
Why?
to me? It sounds like the conversation around the Civil War and slavery. Oh, it wasn't about
Mhm.
slavery. It was about states' rights. Motherfucker,
Yeah.
that sounds very, very convenient when your ass is not the one whose rights are
Mhm.
being,
Yeah.
like taken away. It's crazy. But
Yeah. And but then even then, like, why is federal like the country not the right size to decide it, but the state is the right size to decide it? Like some people say that's too big, right? So then, like, do we go by cities or towns or counties? Like, what is the right size then? And then, how many? It doesn't make sense that the state is the actual perfect right size to decide what the law should be. Like that's weird. And then we're just going to create inequality, basically. You know, I got to put you down. Sorry.
this one of the posts I saw on social media said that they thought it was funny. Clarence Thomas could vote on the side of giving the states the ability to choose how they want to correct, how they want to do that law, taking it out of Fed's hands. But he hasn't done that towards any of the federal opinion laws that are that fall in his place, right? Like one of them was interracial relations, interracial marriages. There's nothing in the
Mm,
Constitution about that at all. Same argument could be applied. But if he was to go after that, then he would actually be putting his own marriage, against the law. So there's a complete conflict of interest, I would say, against a person who can make a law. And that's not even counting the fact that his wife was like somehow entangled into the January 6th ordeal, which to me is like any politician that goes that far into the mission, if there wasn't anything treasonous, like if we find out that they weren't in good faith, it shouldn't really, like, nobody in that circle should be that close to the law. But I find that people ignore that about Mr. Thomas. I don't have anything racist to say about Mr. Thomas. The only thing he reminds me of is if Uncle Ruckus got elected to the Supreme Court. I mean, the only thing is Clarence Thomas is Uncle Ruckus, and then
yeah.
Uncle Ruckus got elected to the Supreme Court. And Magruder, please come out with that because that's the closest thing I've ever seen. The next thing he's gonna start talking about is civil rights, and I don't know, man. It's weird. Um, I wish I could say I was shocked about the decision, but I wasn't. I just don't understand. I haven't heard a good reason yet outside of it should be the state's choice. Right. That's not a good excuse. Right. And we're not talking about like alcohol here or drugs, right? Drugs,
Mhm.
I would love for drugs to be legalized federally. Everyone knows I know that. But that one I could kind of understand state to state, right? Like a little bit more than we're talking about a human right, like the ability to pass a life or choose not to, whatever the moral intrinsic value is, should be left to the woman, um,
Mhm.
in my opinion. But then we are okay with the death penalty, and
Mhm.
like to me,
Fighting wars and doing other things.
I mean, the whole point of having a gun is to shoot and kill somebody, right? Like it isn't to, I'll say, yeah, a lot of people hunt with them, but guns weren't designed to create muscle spasms. They weren't designed to stab you. They were designed to kill. But yet we feel so much confliction to protect the lives to be born so that we can give them a gun and get in the line to get shot. It's just like,
Mhm.
to me, there's something wrong with the thought process. Not to make this whole thing about abortion. It's just that
Mhm.
crazy conversation I had with my neighbor. I had to sit through and poker face. And he has a kid, like his daughter, man. He has a wife, and he's like, yeah, I just there's so much hate going on with Clarence Thomas. Dude, don't tell me about don't try to. You might as well have said OJ Simpson to me. Like, man, I don't understand why people hate on OJ. Like, he got off. I mean, he didn't technically murder anybody. I get it, but do
Mhm.
you really want to be associated with somebody who could have gotten off on a technicality, right? Like, do you really want to be associated with somebody? Clearly, their values are not aligning with mine. Ain't got nothing to do with other people's responses to him.
Mhm.
Crazy. Welcome to the
Yeah.
Can't Tell Us Nothing podcast. Soft's open. I'm not sure. Oops, sorry, I lost the screen. Antoine won't be joining us today. um, Tandy may join us. We're not sure. We're going to check on her to make sure everything's okay. But we are back for another week. Right now, just me and Amici doing a duo session. What's up?
The see Kevin Miller in the chat. Hey Kevin,
What's up, Kevin?
good to hear from you.
One of the most handsome comedians in the country.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. What's been going on with you, Amici? How's your week been?
Pretty quiet so far. Not much going on. Like personally, just a sort of quiet week at home. How about you?
Same here, man. It's just been really hot. I've been having an
Mhm.
unusual battle. This is my first summer with the kids not being in school. So my oldest daughter goes to camp, and she's
Mhm.
just adopted this real negative Nancy personality where everything is just the worst. Every day she tells us it's the worst day ever. So she
Mhm.
said that probably like for the last 2 months, every day.
What are like the specific things that are like getting to her? Like,
Anytime she hears no, so she could have had an amazing birthday party. Like we had a birthday party for my 2-year-old a week ago. I mean, 3-year-old. We had a bouncy house, we had a pinata, we had cake, we had all this wonderful stuff that children would love to have. And
mhm.
afterwards, when everybody was leaving, um, she got upset that she couldn't spend more time with some friends. So she was like, it's the worst day ever. And we were like, we're trying to teach her, like, I get it, right? I remember being a kid and wanting to have endless amount of fun, but every day, like we tell her to brush her teeth and she don't want to brush her teeth, it's the worst day ever. We tell her to eat breakfast and we ran out of cereal, it's the worst day ever. So yeah, to her, everything is the worst day ever. And it's really hard because as parents, you kind of want to like take pain away. Like your kids may be like, sad or whatever. You want to make them feel better. But then there's a part where you're like,
Yeah.
they got to figure this out because I'm not going to keep doing something for you. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, man, this is still the worst day ever. And I just took time out of my day to help you. So
Yeah.
now we just ignore it when she says it. She just says it in the vacuum. And it's hard. because you got to keep eating dinner, and we
Mhm.
hear her screaming and saying how bad everything is stupid. And you're just like, yeah, man, this salmon is really good. You really put your foot in it, you know. And
Yeah.
you don't want to feel like a bad parent either, but I think you can. I always ask myself, can you have a good parent and a bad kid, or does a bad kid mean the parent is also bad, right? Can it's like, could there have been a parent that was really good that just had a child that just didn't have the good child skills to be, starting in the lineup as their child, their top
Mhm.
children?
Yeah. Do you know anybody like that, or did you grow up with any like kids who had like great parents, but they're like terrible people? This is a terrible human being. This child's terrible.
So I met some people in my life that had some pretty,
Hmm.
I would say, remarkable parents, meaning their parents were
Hmm.
very, kind, very respectful, and very good in their job, or in their career. And their children
Yeah.
have been complete assholes. And I've been like, okay, is it the time that they're not spending with it? Is it just, is it just the child's phase, right? Like, I remember
Hmm.
I'm sure I had a phase when I was a child where I was just like, I want to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
But there was a kid I grew up with. I'm not going to say his name because I'm going back to an anniversary back home, and I'll probably see him. His
Hmm.
dad was a judge, and this kid was like one of the most, like, he always got in the shit, and he always got out of it. And we used to get so angry that his father, if you have a judge, it's kind of like, to me, I can see a preacher's child being more in the streets than a judge. It sounds like a judge has connections to cops, lawyers, like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, and this kid was just an asshole, man. But
Yeah.
he turned it around. When I looked at his LinkedIn recently, he was doing something good, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just a phase. You
Yeah.
know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. We cut to John going back home in a couple of weeks and seeing his friend. Uh, hey John, how's it going, man?
Hey, James. Man, it's been a long
Hey.
time. I haven't seen you in so
Yeah.
long, dude. Hey.
Yeah, it has, man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm you look good. You look great.
Yeah, yeah. I've been doing the intermittent fasting. So I got like one more hour and I can eat for the day. I got like a 2 hour
Okay.
time of the day I can eat. It's been really good. I used to have like high blood pressure. I used to have all
Hmm.
kinds of stuff, man. It's really doing well for me. You look good too, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, yeah. I had I had a bit of a rough childhood, about to turn myself around. And actually, on that note, I've been listening to your show, and I think you were talking about me when you mentioned somebody who's like not such a terrible person. I put some of the clues together, and I'm pretty sure that those details add up to my life.
Oh,
So yeah.
James, I really pull from a lot of different people in my life. I've moved like 3 different states, seen a lot of kids. I was just kind of just saying stuff. I wasn't specifically speaking about you, man. That's wrong.
Right, right, right. Okay. I just feel like you are, and my dad is a judge. My mom is the governor of the state, and I'm gonna use those connections to really hurt your life. And I'm gonna take revenge.
I'm,
I'm a mama's boy. I'm a daddy's boy, and I'm gonna use those connections to ruin your life.
uh, James, I mean, that's not fair. I mean, dude, even if I was talking about you on my show, what damage
Hmm.
did it do? I mean, there's not too many people listen to my show, dude. Like maybe 7, 10
Uh,
people.
I do, I do,
I
and
mean,
yeah, so like 6 people now because I'm not gonna listen to it anymore. But because of what you said about me, I am going to use all of my political and government connections, and just make your life very, very hard.
Well, listen, man, we don't have to do that, right? Like I said, I mean, you can go on my show and you can speak your piece, and I would apologize to my viewers if that's what it takes, man. You don't have to ruin my life now, man. I got children now, and I just started to monetize my podcast, man. I really have a strong 6, 7 fans that support what I do, man. I really don't want you to
Well, actually, it's my podcast now. I have my judge dad declare in court that it now belongs to me. So you no longer have a podcast. I do.
You stole my podcast.
I had it taken away by the government and reissued to somebody who will not be so mean to childhood friends. Me.
Man, I was not being mean to you, dude. I was just sharing a story about a parent who had one of those like super square ass jobs, and their kid being an asshole, man. It was a joke, man. I thought you would enjoy it, man. Like anybody would enjoy it. You're fine. You ain't gotta take my shit.
Okay. I mean, that. Now you say that sounds like a very sort of personal, emotional, sort of statement. Do you want to come on my show and talk about
it? You want me to come on the show that you took from me to talk about it?
Yeah. Just an invitation if you'd like to.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna come on that show because I'm gonna try to get my fans back. I'm gonna try to start another show, but I'm gonna come on your show. I'm gonna clear the air, but I'm gonna be speaking to my fans. I just want you to know that these are not your fans. You might have my show, but they're my fans.
Like, I don't think that's true. Once the fans stay with the show, that's just sort of the way it goes.
Fans stay
the
with
legal requirement. It's a legal requirement. My mom signed that into law.
Did you write contracts with all of the fans that were listening to the show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had them all sign contracts.
You are still an asshole. I take back everything I said on my show. You are still an asshole. It's an asshole who's grown up, and you're just like hurting people, man. Just like you did when we was kids. You just fuck with people for no reason, man. This shouldn't happen. It was just a bullshit ass podcast show. You asshole.
So it was about me. You admit it.
Yeah, it was about you. Yeah, it was about you. I only know one judge by name. And yes, it was about you, but it didn't deserve you to take my show and ruin my life. That's an asshole move.
You know what? I don't want the show anymore. Anyway, I'm going to end the show. The show's over.
Now you're going to cancel my show. I worked 3 years to build that audience. You can't just take it and cancel it. You might as well just give it back.
I just did. No, I'm not letting you have it back. It's canceled. It's gone forever. That's it.
I hope your dad has to sentence you to life one day.
Why would he do that? He's my dad.
I don't know. That's just the worst thing I can think about right now is you taking something you love and canceling it. That's the closest thing to canceling. Hope your dad cancels you by sentencing you to life one day. That way you can't hurt and be an asshole to anybody. You could be in a prison full of assholes.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't want that. At least not by myself. We cut to this guy James in prison 10 years from now, and John comes to visit him, sitting through the glass.
How's it going, hey, James? Hey.
Not great. The food isn't so. Food's terrible. Food is terrible in here.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty bad.
You were right. My dad sentenced me to 40 years in prison.
Wow, shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
40 years, man.
Yeah,
So you got another 30 years left on this thing.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, he was a big fan of your show as well. He was one of the 6 people beside me who watched it and was very upset that I canceled it. So built a case against me, and here I am in prison. My own
Jesus.
dad.
Your
Yeah.
own dad, man. I kind of feel sorry for you, man. You got a fucked up family, dude. Like, y'all had such a strong start on life. Had a dad as a governor. I mean, as a judge, mom, governor. I just don't understand why you had to guys had to be assholes. Like it didn't have to end up here. You could have just came on my show, man. And I can't help but to think that I put you here. So I'm really sorry about this.
Are you admitting that you played a role in putting me here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, you're staying. You're staying here with me as an accomplice.
As an accomplice.
I already talked to my dad. He said if I could get you to admit that this was your fault too, you would serve 20 of the 40 years, and I'll serve the other 20. And
motherfuckers.
and see. Ow, sorry.
That would be the most horrible experience, man. It reminds me of when I went to Tammy just messaged us. She's having some issues.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I was in college. I took a criminal justice class. I took a few criminal justice classes. And one of the summer trips they take you is to Marion. I want to say it's Marion Women's Prison, Marysville Women's Prison. Yeah. So every year we would get asked to go, and I would just be like, I'm gonna spend a whole day. Really, did I just kill the mosquito? Do I really want to spend the whole day at a prison, right? Like, it's a field trip, but it's still going to a prison. And of course, the worst nightmare to have is like you go to the prison and they end up being like, man, you can't leave, you gotta stay here. Which I think is like would be like one of the worst tricks ever to somebody. And it doesn't help that prisons are so remote. Like, they're always in this very remote conservative town where it's like, it's freaky, man. So I've seen jails, but I've never actually been inside a prison. I've chosen to not go every time. I think maybe I'll go one day, but I really just kind of don't need to see it. I'm just like, it's just too much for me. It's too close to home.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's things that you'll just sort of believe they're as bad as they are. You don't have to see them for yourself, or experience things for yourself to know. Yeah, this isn't a good thing. So yeah. I kind of feel the same with that too. It's like it gives me like a really sort of uncomfortable feeling in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like visiting a hospital, and it's not like visiting a zoo. You're visiting people who lost their freedom, who are family members, children of people, mothers, fathers of people, and you're just walking around amongst the, the people in bondage, and just like, oh, look, that's them. This is what they have to go through, except for they don't leave when they want. It's crazy to me. So I've never taken one. I used to feel guilty about it, but I'm just kind of like, I don't really need to see that at all.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. I can't imagine another job that I would do. I don't know. I couldn't. When I think about like I did ride-alongs. I always think, I knew I would never be a police officer. I figured that out like probably in high school. I was like, I went egging too much with my friends. I'm like, this is too much fun. I would never be a police officer. Because if I caught somebody egging, I would I would feel like an asshole being like, you got caught. You broke the law, so let's go. I'm gonna write you this. I'll get in my car. I knew I'd give people too much benefit of the doubt, but
Mm.
policing is one thing. Being in the actual prison is a whole nother thing to me. And
Yeah.
I had a friend who used to do juvenile detentions, and his
Mhm.
stories were crazy. How he would get these teenage kids who were just already, full-time criminals. Some of them murderers, some of them hurt their families, man. And he had to like talk to them, socialize with them, and govern them. And he would always share some of these like heartbreaking stories of these children who were just like through circumstance, there was just chances of them straightening out were very slim.
Mm.
And that was his job. And he would be like, he had to come home and be like with his family and all that. And afterwards, I think he recently switched over and got into the education so he can get a little bit more upstream, catch kids in
Yeah.
schools before. But man, it's crazy. That whole prison system makes my skin crawl.
Mm. Yeah. Well, yeah, and yeah, it's cool that you figured it out. Maybe I can do some prevention rather than correction on the other end.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's enjoying that more.
Yeah, I definitely enjoys it more. Better hours because he used to work every holiday. One thing you don't think about with
Mm.
prisons is people in prisons are still working during the holidays. You know,
Yeah.
um, crazy things can happen in prisons during the holidays. So he never really got a lot of consistent time. Now seeing him work in the preventative space, he gets family time. He gets a normal life. He gets to see some progress if they're changing the way a kid thinks about his life. You get to have a little bit more wins there than you do the other side of the fence. But man, that job, like, I have a cousin who's done that his whole career.
Yeah.
And I love my cousin to death. He's my older cousin. I remember one year I wanted to do an internship there. I was like, can I come and do an internship at your office? He was like, no, you don't want to do this shit. Take your ass somewhere. I'm not even gonna let you do this. I'm like, why? Just give me the hours. And he was like, no, I'm gonna save you from this. You don't want to do this.
Mm.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Um,
Okay.
Crazy. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. The craziest ever was the pawn shop. That was crazy enough.
Yeah.
I can't do anything past that.
Mm.
No.
Yeah.
But it does attract certain types of people. It definitely attracts certain types of people who have, I'm trying to say, what's a good way to put this? I mean, you have to be a certain kind of person that want to feel like a job like that. Like you could do a job like that day in and day out, right? Like you're in a
Mhm.
pretty aggressive, sometimes violent position, you know? The negative Nancy's are going off.
Yeah.
Trying to think on a lighter note, something funny that happened this week. Trying to think of what else I've had this week that was pretty fun. Um, Found some snakes in my garden.
That's lighter.
They were harmless snakes, but it was cool. I was reaching for a water hose the other
Uh-huh.
day. It's green and striped, and I wasn't thinking
Mm.
anything of it. And normally, my eyes pick up on stuff. I go down to reach for the water hose, and this black and yellow snake just whips itself against the brick wall. and
Mhm.
jumps away, like out of the way, like, oh, and it wasn't a big one, it was a smaller one. But it made
Yeah.
me go like, oh shoot, like I wasn't paying attention that much that I didn't even recognize the difference between the water hose and the snake. And I remember watching an Instagram story, no, a news story on my iPhone about a little kid in Texas getting bit by a copperhead and his hand
Mhm.
swelled up, thinking, oh shit, this is that time of the year. And that could have happened to me. So it kind of woke me up, man. So um yeah. I've been seeing a lot of holes in the yard, and I've been thinking they're like, are they frogs? Are they snakes? Who cares? But when you
Mhm.
actually see the snake, it like changes
Yeah.
everything for you. Like, all right, I'm looking at everything like
Yeah.
a little different,
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have a trail sort of that runs near our house that where I go running and walking and jogging and stuff. And if you go like early in the morning, which I do sometimes, you will see like snakes and these massive spiders and all kinds of crazy everything that comes out during the night and then sort of goes and hides during the day
Yeah,
is out on the trail like super early in the morning. So yes, it's not uncommon that I'll be just jogging, then just have to jump to avoid a snake that's right there. And that's
yeah,
happened a couple times.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that well, I'm pretty sure that sort of harmless snakes, but there's still like you don't want to sort of take the risk with that. So
yeah. I mean, you don't want to tangle
yeah,
with a
like
snake. Yeah,
no, try and figure out what it is and kind of thing. So
yeah, they're freaky animals. My kids watched this show on Netflix called Creature Cases.
mhm.
Go, I'm on the go. And the creature cases are like little Inspector Gadget animals that go and solve problems with animal problems all around the world. And the first episode was about snakes. One of the snakes bit the train conductor, and they got drowsy, so they couldn't stop the train. And the detectives had to figure out which snakes on the train because it was an animal train, kind of like Zootopia. And they were like, which snake bit the conductor? So they're going around and they got to learn about snakes that are mostly nocturnal, snakes that are poisonous versus ones that aren't. And of course, their favorite snake is the king cobra snake. And that's because it has the hood and it's a really cool hood.
Yeah,
So so my girls were learning about snakes in it, and I could tell one learning about something makes you less afraid of it. Like I got to
yeah,
see that. Um, so now, before, if I would have said anything about snake, they wouldn't even want to hear about it. But now they're a little bit more interested.
mhm,
Was it a venomous snake, Daddy? I don't think it was a venomous snake. Well, then they only eat eggs and they eat this and they eat that. So it's pretty cool to see them watch a show and then be able to like go, oh, they they're actually getting something from the animation. um, and I mean, a lot of people are like criticize YouTube. My kids learn a lot of shit from YouTube, more good than
yeah,
bad. But if I had YouTube when I was a kid, I would have used YouTube for like learning how to do bad shit. Like how do you like how do you like watching kids jump off roofs or like do stunts or something like that? Because Jackass was really
yeah,
big. I feel like YouTube would have been full of just Jackass stuff.
yeah. Oh, maybe it is. There's so much stuff on there. You never know.
Yeah, you're true. True
Um,
that.
yeah. Yeah. We cut to a like Home Depot, uh, like type, so home supply kind of store. Hey, excuse me. Uh, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, remember me from a couple weeks ago? I bought that garden hose. The one you
Uh,
recommended to me.
I
I have it
recommended the
right here.
garden hose, the one that you
Yeah, I have
have
it
in
right
your
here.
hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I recommend that one pretty frequently. We call that one the Python simulator hose.
Hmm.
Kind of looks like a python, but it's really a water hose. Yep,
Right.
yep, yep.
Yeah. Well, I put it in my garden. I used it a couple times, and
That's good.
I went out there a few days ago and reached for it, because it was a hot day that I needed to spray some water around, and I reached out. Guess what I grabbed instead of the hose? A
What
real
was?
life python.
Oh, you grabbed the python instead of the hose.
Yes. Hmm.
Hmm. How? It probably was a female python because the water hose we gave you was pretty long and it's there to simulate a male python. So probably grabs yourself there a female python.
Look, like, I don't care, male, female, doesn't matter to me. The fact is, I grabbed a real python and it bit my hand,
Oh,
which is why, yeah, yeah.
okay.
So,
Does
apparently
your
this whole,
does your hand look like an egg? Because pythons love eggs.
does it look like an egg? It did split up like an egg. It was egg
Mm.
shaped, which is why this happened a couple days ago. I've been in the hospital the whole time since then.
Wow.
I just got out, went home, went to grab the hose again to bring it back here. Guess what I grabbed instead?
You grabbed
Another
that.
python.
You grabbed
I
another
grabbed another
python.
python. Yeah.
Was it the same
So this
python as before? Or is it a different?
it was a different one. I could tell it looked different. I could when I looked into his eyes as it sunk its
Mm.
teeth into my hand, I could tell this was a different python.
Oh, sorry, I'm chuckling there. I'm sorry. You got really
Yes, this
detailed
isn't
in your
funny.
story.
Uh-huh.
I think what you just uncovered is something very important here. You said that it was two different pythons that was snuggling
Hmm.
up against that python simulator water hose we gave you there. One thing that I
Right.
think is really, really important is we gave you the Magnum Python edition. That means it's the largest water hose that we got. And what you might be doing here is might be attracting some Python ladies that are in heat and they're smosing around to your water hose and and they're biting you because they're probably making love and you're interrupting the love making that's going on with your water hose. So I would be very, very careful. Pythons are extremely aggressive during their breeding. All right. So that's probably what's going on there. I used to work at an animal uh, sanctuary long, long,
Okay.
long time ago. Long time ago.
Okay. That's great and everything,
So,
and
so
I don't.
if you go back out there and you see the pythons are still having sex, give it about 2 more days, and then go
I
out
don't.
there.
I don't.
You
You
should
know.
be able to see
I
one python out there.
Yeah. I don't think that I'm comfortable with a bunch of snakes just having a bunch of pythons, very dangerous snakes, just having sex outside of my house. I would rather that didn't happen in my backyard. I play out there. I'm a child at heart. I play a lot of games in my backyard.
Well, as long as you're
So
not bothering them, they shouldn't be dangerous. There's nothing dangerous about snake sex at all. It's actually one of the most loving and sensual sex of in all the animal kingdom. They twirl around each other. Sometimes they do like little donut holes around each other. It's really cool. It's when you go down and
it's
you
really cool.
grab one from actually doing the love making is when they get violent. Just think about it. If you in there with your old lady and you mid stroke and somebody comes in and grabs you off of your wife, you would want to bite them, wouldn't you? Just
I'll
think
probably
about
bite
it.
them. Yeah,
You
I'll probably just
definitely
bite
want to
them.
bite
I
them
don't
right
even
there.
think.
That would be the
Yeah.
first response. So you got to just empathize a little bit with the pythons here. Now, what I will do is I will exchange the water hose for a smaller water hose, a regular one. That will attract less female pythons. They like big, thick water holes like male pythons. And that's the one we
Okay.
gave. We gave you the Magnum Python simulator. We're gonna give you the regular one, but you got to bring the one back, and I'll exchange it for you. You won't have to have no receipt or anything. This happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, I did bring it back. It's right here in my hand.
Oh shit! That, sir, is not a water hose. That is a python.
Oh. How it fit me again?
Okay, you got to get out of the store. Of course, that could happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Oh man, I love that animal videos. My brother was a big. He used to love watching like safari hunting movies, shows when we were coming up. He would watch them until he like fell asleep, especially like Shark Week. He loved that stuff. But then he would have these crazy nightmares. And they always ended up him peeing in a bed. And somehow the animal kingdom and
okay.
Yeah,
Shark Week.
Yeah, it would bleed over into his dream, and he would always end up peeing on himself, and he'd wake up and tell us these crazy stories about how he was on a train and dinosaurs would be chasing him, and the shark was going to eat him, so he couldn't pee. He had to keep running. It's like, and we would wake up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and he'd be screaming, and we'd be like, "What the heck is going on?" Covered in pee. And we're like, "All right, man, no more Animal Kingdom videos, dude." Like, one of them was like an alligator. He's like, he woke up and he's like, "I want to step," but it was alligators all over the floor. It's like Jumanji, like what's going on? He's like, it's real alligators. No, I mean, the alligators are scary. Don't get me wrong.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. How about we just stop drinking after 8 o'clock? And that way you don't have to be thinking about peeing while you're running from these animals in your nightmares. You could actually just focus on the running. But yeah, me and my mom, we used to laugh because she would get pissed off. Obviously, you got to work in the morning and your kid is screaming bloody murder and you wake up and they got pee. That means you got to clean them and make sure like they're okay. And every time,
and also take care of the bed as well.
Yeah, you got to take care of the bed.
Yeah, so that's like another big chunk of time out your morning when you're trying to leave.
Yeah. So
a lot of work.
Yeah, wetting the bed, wetting stories. Yeah, I don't remember having any bedwetting problems. I mean, I know I wet the bed, but what's funny is I meet people, adults, that are like, "Yeah, man, I wet the bed sometimes when I get drunk." I'm like, how? Like
they didn't dream alligators. That's how.
So drunk. It's like, I mean, I just feel like they must be like lucid dreamers or something, and they're just like in the dream.
Yeah, because that has happened to me. Like as an adult, like occasionally, like if I need to pee during the night, I'll just have like a weird nightmare or like a weird dream that's like so crazy and vivid and like dangerous that I'll just wake up and I just have to go pee.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. But yeah, like whatever my brain is like trying to wake me up by doing some weird thing to make me get up. Well, yeah.
We cut to you sleeping one night in your bedroom. Amici, wake up! You gotta wake up right now. Oh my God, there's a fire. The fire is all over the bed. You gotta get out of the bed.
What? The fire's on the bed? We're in the bed.
It's just all over the bed. We gotta get out of bed. I don't know what's going on, but
okay. I'm out.
All right, sorry, Amici. The last couple of nights you've been wetting yourself, so I'm testing how I can get you out of bed in time. Around 3 o'clock.
Hold on, Jessica. Was this like a fire drill? Like you just made me You just testing how quick I would get out of bed.
I just
That's
got
it.
kind of tired. I like to cuddle, and cuddling with you. Sometimes when you pee on me,
Uh-huh.
it's just too much. I can't do it. So I can't wake you up and say, "Hey, can you go pee?" So I came up with the idea. Me and the ladies, we were like, "Hey, what if we just ran fire drills? Then you would start to, you know, wake yourself up at this time and pee. So all you got to do now is just go use the restroom, and we can get back into bed."
Oh, okay. It's just at 3 in the morning. I'm full of adrenaline now. I don't think I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'm just gonna be wide awake for a few hours now.
I,
So
I,
you
I'm,
really
I'm
scared me. That was scary.
I know. I'm so sorry. I know, but you know what? It worked. You got up. It only took you about 7 seconds to get up, and the bed is still dry. So if you could do just one little thing before your adrenaline drops, could you just go
Hmm.
just pee a little bit, just drain yourself. I think after you do that, you should be able to, you know, go back to
Yeah,
sleep.
I don't really feel like I really need to go right now. There's like I think I can just wait for a little bit longer. So I'm just gonna lie down and try and go back to sleep without going. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for thinking of me, but yeah,
Okay,
I'm just
okay,
gonna
that's
go back
fair
to bed.
enough. That's fair enough. Maybe I was a little off. Maybe you may need some more time. I'll go ahead and let you get some sleep. I'm going to get
All right,
some sleep too. Okay, I'm going to turn all the lights off in the house. Okay,
all right. Good night.
all right. Good night. 20 minutes later passes. Amici! There
No,
are
no,
intruders! There's somebody in the house!
what?
They're trying to
Uh,
kidnap us! They told us to
uh,
run to the bathroom. We gotta run to the bathroom right now. Hurry!
okay, okay,
Let's
okay.
go!
Go,
Let's
go. You
go!
go first. You go first.
Pull your
All
pants
right. Get in
down!
there.
Pull your pants down as we're running! They're not gonna do anything if our pants are down. Just pull them down. Hurry up, pull them down. Let's go.
Okay, 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 okay. They're down. They're down. Okay. All
All
right.
right.
We're in the bathroom. All
All
right.
right. Now, hey, sorry, I had to do all of that.
Uh,
There aren't any intruders,
oh, what?
but since your pants are already down, you can just go ahead and use the restroom right now. And then once we calm down,
You got my adrenaline up again. I'm doing sprints with my pants down.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just knew if I got you up in 20 minutes, that was enough time for your, the kidneys to start working and to get the bladder full, and you should be able to urinate now. I just want to go to bed without you peeing on me.
Okay.
That's it.
Look. I still don't really need to go. I would say my bladder's like half full. Um, I just hate wasting water. I want to conserve water a little bit. With these Texas summers, droughts and stuff. I want to do my part. So I'm not going to pee right now. I'm just going to go back to bed, try and get some sleep. We'll see. It's like almost 3:30 now, and going to be up in a few hours for work. But I'm going to try and relax. Okay, let's just go to
Sure.
sleep. Yes.
I am trying to go to sleep. I,
Okay.
I, I will I will go to sleep this time. I will just trust that your natural biological clock will wake you up since none of my interventions are working. All I ask
Mhm.
is that you please don't urinate in the bed.
I will not. I promise. I'm just gonna go ahead. So yeah, like I said, my bladder's only half full. I'm good. I've got plenty of hours left.
You're right. I may be overreacting. Sometimes I just
Yeah.
overreact. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
It's living together thing. It's just new for me. Okay.
All right.
I
Okay.
trust you. I trust you.
All right. Okay. Well, let's go to bed. Let's go to bed.
All right. We cut to 2 minutes later. Urine's coming around, flowing all over the sheets. It's hit. It's coming on to Jessica. It's It's gotten onto her pillow and it's now getting closer and closer to her hair. Oh, what? Amici, what is this?
What?
I
Oh,
just closed my eyes. I just fucking closed my eyes. Why is 80% of our bed covered in piss?
I'm sorry. I was thinking about um earlier tonight. You know, when he said the bed was on fire. I was like, well, the easiest way to combat that would just be to pee on the bed and put it out. And then I was
Yes.
thinking of
Peeing on the bed.
put out the fire. You know.
That reminds me of Eminem's line. I wouldn't pee on a fire to put you out. I forgot who was saying that to. Somebody who was suing him, but I was thinking about that. Peeing on a fire to put someone out. It's like peeing on a bed that's on fire. It doesn't seem common sense that you could pee on a fire and then put it out. To me, it almost kind of like it sounds like it would be common sense, but to me, it doesn't sound like it's like I wouldn't think I'm gonna pee on a fire and put it out. I would be nervous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll be nervous. Like, can you get it going? You'll be smoke in your face, the heat.
I'm trying, guys. I'm nervous.
Hurry up! Stop looking at me. I can't go when people are looking at me.
This is stressful. It should be like one of the most stressful times to pee.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's crazy, man. Shout out to Tandy. Hope Tandy's feeling better. Tandy has some issues with the AC. Man, it's really, really hot
tough.
too. That's super tough.
Yeah, definitely one of the things that you sort of don't realize how much you need until it's like off or out. But you know, down here, where I mean it's like crazy being outside. Sometimes it's like in the high 80s or 90s, and it's late at night. I'm like, wow, how is it still this hot?
It's just no sun out.
Yeah, it's like there's no sun. Yeah, it's just hot. Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy because at least in the Midwest or even potentially Cali, at night it's breezy and cool. So you could open the windows, catch a breeze. You try to open the windows in Houston, you're gonna get mosquitoes and humidity.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it does not help. No, if you're trying to cool down, it doesn't help.
Not at all. I even know. I started to notice like even the rooms in my house that have windows, a lot of windows, they're usually some of my favorite places to sit in because of the view. But it also attracts the most heat because the sun and all of the stuff is coming through windows. We've had to like buy stuff for our doors to keep the air and stuff coming through the doors so that it can keep some of the summer heat down, man. And it's like you have to summarize your house almost.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's sort of we have like a back sort of deck area, and they recently cut down the HOA had the landscapes come out and like cut down a bunch of the trees and some of the branches and stuff. So it used to like be shaded back there, but now it's sort of open. So we just get like a lot more heat on the back deck and just shining through the window, so it just gets hotter in here. And it's just like didn't realize how much just the trees being like a little bit overgrown were like a good thing. Like this really helps.
Yes, it does, man. I can feel your pain for sure. Having the trees block the sun cuts out like 7 degrees just from the tree. But when that thing is not there, the sun just has like spotlight effect on them. Just burns everything up.
Yeah.
My daughter was asking me, you know, Dad, I want to go to, she calls it ancient Egypt, but what she really means is Egypt. She's like, I want to go to Egypt. I was like, oh, that's in Africa. She was like, yeah, I want to go to Africa. She was like, is Africa, I heard, is really hot. I was like, well, Houston, Texas is really hot. I'm like, so it may be a little more hot, but it won't be like the big difference between Midwest hot to Africa. It'll be like our summers will be um, a pretty good trial run to go in certain areas over there, except for the dryness of Egypt, from what I heard. But I was trying to explain that to her because she understands Texas is hot, but she doesn't get Texas is hot because of where it is on the map. In her mind, it's just like places are one is hot and one is just not cold. It's like you go to. She's like a flat earther right now. It's probably most 5-year-olds are like flat earthers. um, but it was kind of cool trying to explain that to her. She's like, you know what? I like it cold. Like she told me she wants to live in Colorado when she gets older because it's cold there. I was like, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? She doesn't like the heat at all. It sucks because Houston is about the heat. It's what you get all the time is heat.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't like
Yeah.
the heat.
Yeah, that's why year round. This is what we get. You know. So
Yeah.
cool. We cut back to John and James in prison. Hey, John. So tonight is my last night here. Since I started my sentence before you did, I'm getting out before you get out. So you know, I guess good luck after tonight. You know, with the rest of your sentence and everything.
Good luck. That's what you have to say to me.
Luck.
You ruined my life. Purposefully, I might add.
Technically, we together ruined both of our lives, I would say. So, it was a sort of a team effort. I've enjoyed sharing a cell with you. We've had some good conversations. And tonight I will do my best not to wet the bed. I know I'm on the top bunk. It can drip down. I'll do my best not to wet the bed.
I could just stay up and I could just wake you up and every 2 hours. I mean, what cares if you get any sleep? It's your last night.
But I am going out into the world. It's going to be a real busy day tomorrow, so I should get a really good night's sleep, right? That kind of makes sense. To get like a really good night's sleep, and I don't need to go to the bathroom yet. I know it's like getting late. I don't think I need to go yet. So,
Yeah,
go to sleep.
I understand, man, but the guys in here, they keep calling me P-boy, man, and you're not gonna be here till tomorrow. I'm not gonna keep being P-boy. Like we gotta do something different, okay? Can you sleep on the bottom bunk today and I ain't sleep on the top bunk? It's okay. I don't mind switching.
Yeah, sure. We can switch. Yeah, we can switch. Well, you sleep on top, I'll sleep on the bottom, and
Yes,
we
gotcha.
will. Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha, man. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
You were a little bit of an asshole these last couple of years, but I do think you have some good in you, and I appreciate you switching with me, doing this one thing for me. It's been a long road, but I do appreciate this.
Yeah. No problem. Have fun, I guess, on the top bunk. I guess it can be yours from now on. Maybe you'll get a new cellmate who lets you have it. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna turn in and get some shut eye for my big day tomorrow. Yeah. Good night.
All right, man.
Sorry, John. Sorry, I had a weird dream. Had a weird dream.
You had a weird dream?
Hmm.
You
I
just
don't think
laid
I
your
can
head
sleep on the
down,
bottom.
man. You
I
just
know,
laid
I
your
know.
head
Yeah,
down.
I know. I fall asleep really quickly. I had a weird dream. I was at home. I was back home. I was happy. I was feeling good. I went out to my backyard, uh, and the grass was a little dry. So I grabbed the hose. Turns out it wasn't a hose. It was a python.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I got really scared, and then I woke up. Can we switch? Can we just switch back? I think I feel more comfortable on top.
Damn, man. Oh fuck. I mean, yeah, man.
Yeah. So it was my last night. We
I
just
don't like.
taking
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I don't like snakes either, man. I really don't. I was getting comfortable, but that's cool. Whatever, man. I'll jump down on
Right.
the bottom
Okay.
bunk.
All right. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Cool. Oh, and sorry. As you know, as I grabbed snake in my dream, I did pee a little bit on the bed. Don't worry about it. It's not very much. All right. Good
And
night.
that's
Bye.
the
Bye. Bye.
scene. And that's the Can't Tell Us Nothing podcast. We did a whole show today as duos. Shout out to me and Amici today. And
Mhm.
hopefully Tandy, we can take care of her incident that she's having right
Yeah.
now. And we look forward to playing with Antoine the next show. But appreciate everybody tuning in tonight for sure.
Mhm.
You have anything you want to share, Amici, before we jump off?
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks to Kevin, Rolanda. Um, Appreciate your comments and everything. There is one thing. I guess if you're in Houston, Station Theater, through the Diversity and Equity Scholarship and Fellowship Program is we have, I think there's some scholarships they're giving out. So if you want to try improv, if you want to get into improv, check it out on the website, stationtheater.com. Yeah, there'll be a way to sort of get in there without financial commitment, and yeah, just sort of try it out and see if it's for you.
Yeah. So let's check out Station Theater's website for the diversity scholarships for any excuse me, new improv students who would like to apply. They are awarding scholarships for you to take classes. One of those classes will be taught by a really strong and incredible instructor. It could be one from CTUN, could be one of our friends, but definitely check it out on Station Theater's website for sure. With that being said, I think it's time to wrap it. I think we've done everything.
Yeah.
So tune in about 2 weeks. Check our Facebook page for the next show. We're going to promote it on there. And also send us any ideas, anything you want us to do, any questions you want us to explore, or just hit us up, man. We'd love to talk podcast with your improv. But until then, peace out.